I spoke in several conferences, several trainings before COVID about the importance of air quality. Hardly people bothered. You know, we as a human, we only bothered about what is visible. We have decorative house, good car, everything what is visible we give importance. We were least bothered about which is not visible. Now Corona came and told us now you have to see not only from your eyes, from your microscopic eye. It's very important that air now plays a major role. Now we all sitting here all highly educated technical people, right? We talk about pharma standards, healthcare standards and everything. Let's first give a test for you guys how good you live in, right? So there is a saying, our indoor air is more polluted than outdoor air. Yes or no? Yes? Yeah? So currently in Delhi, the outdoor air is severe. So that means my indoor air is more severe? Yes? So should I stay inside my house or should I stay in the road? So why we say so the indoor is more polluted? Because of the following reasons. How many of you cleaned in your bedroom above the almirah every 15 days once? Anybody? Do you clean your almirah just above the almirah 15 days once in your bedroom? No. When did you last clean your AC filter? We don't clean unless until it makes noise. When did you last clean your kitchen exhaust? Unless until the oil drops from here. So like this, there are so many parameters we miss in our indoor, and we directly go and buy a sexy looking 30,000 rupees air purifier thinking that that will do magic. We humans, we are missing the basics and we are going for the advancement, right? We buy an air purifier, keep it in corner of the room and imagine the room is clean. It is not, right? We give more efforts to prevent patients, to help patients and to produce a quality products, but we miss the basics which we are at home, right? Which is the good AC, split or box? Which is a good one, split AC or box AC? I hope everybody have AC in your bedroom, right? Most of you. There can be some reactions, I can't see any reactions. Okay. Which is a good one, split or box? Split AC. Why? Yeah, the box means window AC. Window AC. Why? Nobody uses it. Okay. So which AC gives fresh air? Window. Anybody for a split AC? Anyone for window AC? Which gives fresh air? Only one. Both of them doesn't give fresh air. They only recirculate what is inside the room, right? Imagine a bedroom which is an Indian average size of 200 square feet, right? 3 adults sleeping an average of 8 hours a night. To save energy, we close the room so tight that the conditioned air doesn't go out, right? We make sure window is closed, door is closed, everything. In a 200 square feet air conditioned room, if 3 adults are sleeping at early morning at 4 o'clock around, the available oxygen in the room will be much less. The amount of VOC will be little higher. That's why when you wake up in the morning from the bedroom, the air conditioned room, you will feel little lazy unless until you go out and sit. We don't leave a way for the fresh air to get inside our bedroom. Then how do you expect a healthy life? So I suggest to open your doors an ½ inch gap between open the door so that some amount of fresh air goes inside and gives you fresh, right? And rather than buying an air purifier, you can hire a laborer who comes and cleans your all the above surfaces in the house at least once in a week. We miss that. If you see, when we walk in the house or anywhere, we disturb the air in the room only up to 6.5 7 feet. We never disturb something above 7 feet, right? The lightweight microbes and the body heat what we generate and the volatile organic compounds, the VOCs, they always float around above 7 feet. That's the reason in our earlier days we had a ventilator above 7 feet in all the old houses. If you can remember, there were a ventilator. And even if today we hardly open our windows seeing that machar aa raha hai, dust aa raha hai, but their route they have to come. But it's your duty to liquidate the air quality which is in the house as much as possible. Can anyone suggest or name what is the technical name for ceiling fan? Ceiling fan. What is the technical name? What it does? It's an air circulator. It creates a draft. Okay. Any other technical name? Air condition. We say that we condition the air. Okay. So what is the name for a ceiling fan? What is the technical name? Displacement fan. No. Okay. It's called air grinder. It rotates the air in certain circle. It doesn't allow anything to out from inside. If you see the latest Oriental fan ad where Dhoni is there, he will stand here, he will not get the air, he will go inside the circle. That's why in our house, when there's a smoke in the kitchen, we should not switch on the ceiling fan. Rather, we should switch on the exhaust fan. So here, by switching on the exhaust fan, we are creating a negative flow from the house. So like this small principles and basics we miss in our day-to-day activities, right? So we will talk more of non-technical and basics in the following presentation. So it is not necessary to do extraordinary thing to get an extraordinary results. Let's stick to basics. As Indians and Asians, we had a very good science background, from our Asian times. If we know all this, we can easily make a wonderful living house and working area. Oh no! Oh my God! Okay. So controlling and maintaining indoor air quality and indoor environmental quality, it's not only engineering department job, neither microbiology department job. It's everyone's work, which we fail to understand in hospital segment primarily. And pharma, I have not much experience in pharma, but pharma does collective work. But in healthcare, we literally miss teamwork in terms of indoor air quality and indoor environmental quality. Now, ma'am spoke about surface decontamination. Now she also said, if this is a sterile product, if I unpack it and keep it here, will it remain sterile after 10 minutes? No, because of sedimentation of airborne microbes. We need to focus on airborne microbes decontamination as well as the surface disinfection. So the factors influencing indoor air quality and indoor environment quality, it depends on which location is your building, what sort of surroundings you have, whether it is near the main road, near the forest area, near the lake area. There are so many factors involves what sort of air is coming inside your room, and what sort of furniture you use, what sort of carpets you have, where is the air movement in your house, everything, or in your building, all makes a major impact on your indoor environmental quality. These days, lot of kids, the kids within 10-year-old, they have a lot of asthma problem because their houses are not well ventilated. They have no time to open the windows, no time to exhaust the house. It's not properly ventilated. When you design a house or when you design a pharma or healthcare, in the initial days, whatever the engineering aspects we decide and we make, everything will do good and will work as per what is planned. But the moment you start using, and after 6 months or 1 year, the engineering controls will have its own problem. So it is very important that we need to access the engineering controls. What I mean to say, like AC filter, AC coils, like our kitchen, whatever our hard surfaces, everything has to be monitored and it has to be thoroughly checked and for your proper indoor air quality. So engineering control that was successfully tested after construction may be operating correctly a month later, but it will not give a lifelong same result. You have to keep monitor and keep check that. So this everybody knows, even the TV media and people knows that all this one, right? So that's why we are wearing mask. But again now, because of corona, everything is becoming too much. If I touch this, I again disinfect my hand. I touch again, I disinfect my hand. People are now going for too much of disinfection, and there may be day comes that we will be more allergic to chemicals than microorganisms. There will be chemical infections in the future because of too much of unnecessary usage of unqualified chemicals in terms of hand hygiene. So as educated people, we should have some sense where you have to disinfect, where you have to wear mask and everything. You need to have precautions, doesn't mean that you just close your eye and just follow unnecessary precautions, which will again burden yourself in the later stage. So this one probably it's very important. While sneezing, we create 40,000 particles per sneeze, and see the last one, by talking 1,000 words, we create 36 particles. That's why they say during work, don't talk much. When you talk much, you create more indoor airborne particles, and if there is no proper ventilation, then you spread the infection within the indoor, right? But if we open the mask and talk, we can't skip talking. We are Indians. So now the awareness came just after Corona about the importance of airborne, right? But again, these are the research papers which came much earlier. It is early 2000. This research paper says any infection, any infection, it is caused or aggregated by polluted indoor air quality. 50% of illness, okay, it's not displaying. 50% of all illness either caused or aggregated by poor indoor air quality. Because through airborne, you get one infection and that will help to get to another infection. So India is the largest TB population in the world because of poor indoor ventilations and no proper education among the infected and non-infected. I don't know, PPT is gone here. Okay, a HVAC system can potentially spread a virus across when high-speed air flow past the infected person. This paper came in 2004. So that's the reason now HVAC systems and settings will have further corrections to make sure the spread of infections or spread of contaminated air in the room. Oh my God, hold on. Airflow management. So you must have seen laminar airflow in operation theaters where the air comes from the top and goes from the sides. So it is called laminar airflow. It's the same principle what I was saying, that lightweight microbes float on the top so that you flush them to the down and take to the sides. If I flush the air from top to bottom, that I am not spreading from one person to another person. If I have a fan in front of me, while I am speaking, whatever I am sneezing out, the particles, the fan will take it to the person behind me. Same way system now it's coming up in OPDs, outpatient departments, where the patient and the doctor will have a different unique airflow pattern to avoid spread of infection from a patient to the doctor. Same way when you talk to somebody, if you can stand also in a proper airflow pattern, least chances of infection spread from one person to another person. So ensure slow and steady airflow, and directly potentially contaminated air is out. So if I am an infectious disease patient, even if I release some microbes from my talking, it will be flushed from top to bottom and it will be taken out, right? So the airflow pattern may be corrected in the coming future because of airborne infection issues. Oh my God. Okay. Check the basic operations of the system to see that it is delivering outdoor air in every space. In most of the indoors, there are some dark packets where the air will not be circulated. It will be a hidden area. It will be like a vacuum area, or anaerobic microbes can grow in such areas where the air circulation or aerodynamics of the room is wrong. It is not circulated properly. So if you have a house, if you have got a square room and one door facing the another door, the air will directly come and pass to the other door. It will not go to the right side or left side of the room. So it is important when you have a window or when you have a door in a house, you have to make sure one side it comes in and goes across the room and goes out in another area, so that across the room the air is diluted or circulated. It should not be directly coming in one side and going out that side, right? Decrease the human load or increase the airflow speed. What ma'am said, increase the airflow speed or decrease the human load. Check the dust level. See, due to modernization, we have false ceiling at our house. What is the need of one false ceiling? Just to look good, you know. We have a false ceiling just to look good, to have colorful lights. When did we switch on those lights? Nobody knows. We never switch on. We only switch on only one bulb to save power. Above the false ceiling, if there is a rat dead, how will you remove? Or even a lizard is dead, how will you remove? No, you can't remove. You have to cut open the POP. So false ceiling is good only if you like it. Otherwise, it is not at all recommended. It is not at all required. It will rather add more dust particles above the false ceiling and more insects dead on the false ceiling. And later stage, when you enter the room, you will have this foul smell. For example, if you go to a conference hall or if you go to cinema theater, we call it a conference hall smell. It is nothing but a buildup of volatile organic compounds and fungal load in the atmosphere, which is giving us this bad smell. Same thing will happen if you have got a false ceiling and if you are not cleaned above the false ceiling. You take an IT company wherein 200 people work in a small area. Above the false ceiling, you find 2 inches of dust every 6 months. So it's very important to clean above your false ceiling and also to make sure that no dust is settled down on the surfaces in any indoor. And as clearly said in the earlier presentations, duct cleaning is very important in a centralized AC rooms, and followed by duct disinfection also again important. If you want to drink clean water at the end of the tap, that means the water tank and the water pipeline should also be clean. Same way, if you want to breathe a clean air, whatever amount of HEPA filters you have in your AHU, if your duct is having a dust and microbes, it doesn't do anything. Microbes will come to your indoor. So periodic checking of duct dust level and periodic doing of duct cleaning and duct disinfection is very, very important in today's scenario. Increase the fresh air in each cycle. Because of post-COVID, we need to have more fresh air cycle to dilute the indoor air pollution. And if possible, wherever it is possible, if you have got a natural ventilation option, opt for it. At least in the early morning and the late evening, open the windows, dilute your house indoor air pollution. Automatically, you will have a good, healthy life. Okay, there are few references I listed out here which was published in last 2 months about how to improve or enhance your indoor air quality in your clean rooms, in your OTs, in your ITs at your home. So you can refer all this. Opening your windows is a key to the natural ventilation and key to the healthy life. And I mean to say not your Microsoft Windows, it's about your natural ventilations. Always think that our earlier people did something good and they taught us the importance of natural ventilation, natural resources, which we should do it. There are reasons why they kept that phosphorus stone, the white color stone hanging on the door so that it attracts the VOCs coming inside the house. These days we made it in plastic. Earlier we had a nimbu, lemon and mirchi. Now we made it plastic. For what? We don't know. These all had this antimicrobial effects, the air which comes in. We used to throw cow dung in front of our house so that it creates a layer to not to get the outdoor polluted air to come inside. Now we don't have time for all this, right? I'm not saying go and throw cow dung today at your house, but make sure you have proper ventilation, your doors are cleaned, your mosquito nets are vacuumed properly, you have least or less number of carpet area at your house or your office. Carpet is another big problem for indoor air pollution and for your breathing issues, and so on, so on. We can keep talking about the indoor air pollution.